In today's video, we're going to be talking about this very important question. If our two white-haired goats went toe-to-toe with each other and had to fight to the death, who is coming out of that fight alive? Now, a lot of you guys said that Tengen gets completely dog-walked in this scenario, but here's why this fight is a lot closer than you think. When you think of both characters, the first thing that comes to mind is their battle experience. But in this situation, who exactly possesses more battle experience? Well, if you take a look at Anby, we know that she has a military background in the past. And given that they're in a post-apocalyptic world, I think it's fair to say that the type of training they did would most likely kill the average person. And according to a common theory in the ZZZ community, she wasn't just a member of this military squad, she was one of their best soldiers. Now, unfortunately, we don't really have too much information on her past. All we really know is that she was in close proximity with Soldier 11, who seems to also be a skilled soldier in her own right. But even with the lack of information, we can come to the conclusion that she does definitely have a lot of battle experience. But how does that battle experience compare to Tengen's? Well, we know that Tengen was raised in a ninja shinobi family, and he had to fight demons for basically his entire life. He's one of the few people that actually lived in his entire family, and I believe he was an assassin before he joined the Demon Slayer Corps as well. So he definitely has his fair share of experience. But the aspect that makes him shine the most is his fight against Gyutaro. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys have seen it. This guy put up a performance that would make even LeBron James cry with tears of joy. This guy has enough experience to be literally crippled and still be going head to head with an upper moon demon. I mean, this guy lost his hand, his eye, got stabbed multiple times, and was poisoned and still going to an extreme diff while being heavily nerfed. And I think we can all agree that his experience was the real reason that he was able to win that fight with Tanjiro. So given the overwhelming amount of experience feats that Tengen Uzui has, and also considering the unfortunate neglect Hoyoverse has had for their GOAT Anby when it comes to explaining her feats, unfortunately for this category specifically, we're gonna have to give it to Tengen. But what about raw attack speed? Well, fortunately for us Anby believers, Anby is one of the GOATs when it comes to raw speed in the entire game. Given that she has the speed and reaction time to be able to deflect bullets and the missiles from high military grade weaponry, one can infer that if you're able to move your sword fast enough to deflect those attacks, that would also mean that you're able to attack at bare minimum roughly that speed as well. Not only that, but she might even be able to take on the properties of lightning as well. If you look at her C6 constellation description, it states that she might develop a mastery over lightning. And given the previous trailers that hint at her taking on the properties of lightning, given lightning's immense speed of 270,000 miles per hour, if that statement is true, that will put Anby at a massive speed advantage. However, we might not give her this given that it might just be special effects, given that it's only a trailer of course. But obviously, given the near future, it might change to be true. But for now, I can't really say with confidence that she should get the feat. So given that Anby is able to deflect bullets and missiles from high military grade weaponry, that should put her attack speed at around Mach 3 bare minimum. But how does that attack speed compare to Tengen Uzui? Well, according to the Demon Slayer author, he's supposed to be the fastest Hashira on foot. Not only that, but he's also able to conjure sonic booms by the sheer speed that he's moving his weapons. If you guys don't know, a sonic boom is an occurrence that happens when an object is moving past Mach 1 in terms of speed, which means that at bare minimum, Tengen Uzui's attack speed is around sound speed. And unfortunately for Anby, that's not all. Tengen can move so fast that he's undetectable to the human eye, which scientifically speaking, if you're moving so fast that your eye can't detect the light, that means you could be moving past light speed. But here's why this doesn't make any sense to me. In his fight against Gyutaro, the Upper Moon 6 demon was not able to display any feats that were even remotely close to the speed of light. I mean, this is the same guy struggling to dodge attacks only at Mach 1 speed. And given that Tengen was also struggling during that fight, I don't think it really makes any sense at all to give Tengen Uzui anywhere close to light speed. So we're just gonna lowball it and just assume that he's around sound speed in terms of attacks. So as far as attack speed goes, Tengen definitely loses to Anby without a doubt. But how about their durability stats? Well, as far as durability goes, Anby is no slouch either. But unfortunately, we don't really see too many durability feats from her in the story, simply because she just barely gets hit. I mean, she's always dodging attack after attack. It's pretty hard to even get a dent on Anby. But the one time she did get hit was by a random missile. And directly after that, she fell from a giant skyscraper. And despite all of that, she didn't take a hint of damage at all. But outside of that feat, we don't really see anything else from Anby, unfortunately. But how about Tengen Uzui? Well, if you've seen the fight with Gyutaro, this guy was on absolute demon timing. This guy got poisoned immediately and was heavily nerfed for the entire fight. This guy has the pain tolerance to have gotten stabbed in the eye mid-fight and keep fighting like nothing happened. This guy stopped his heart on purpose to survive the poisoning and came back and went toe-to-toe with an upper moon demon. That is crazy. But that's not even the craziest part. At the end of the fight, Gyutaro releases a rotationary circular slashes attack that destroys an entire portion of the village. And Tengen comes out of that alive? This guy is a freaking menace. So unfortunately for durability, we're gonna have to give this to Tengen Uzui. But do take this one with a grain of salt. Anby has never really been pushed to go all out in any fight. So for all we know, she can be a lot more durable than we think. But enough about durability, how about the last statement, the hacks and the attacks? Well, as far as hacks goes, Anby is no slouch. She's literally able to conjure lightning at will. And if we use the properties of lightning as a guidance, lightning can get as hot as the surface of the sun. So if anyone gets hit by a burning attack like that, they are probably not surviving. And adding on to hacks, she seems to have some weird superhuman ability to be able to dodge every single attack that comes her way. And I'm 100% sure that this ability has a lot more depth to it than you think, and here's why. According to the new update in the new minigame in the arcade mode, one of Anby's abilities is, you guessed it, an enhanced ability to dodge. So I am 100% certain that there is some hidden ability that she has that allows her to foresee attacks, but we'll have to wait and see. But in this category, Tengen Uzui is no slouch either. Tengen has a crazy hack called musical score technique that allows him to perfectly predict every single attack that comes his way. Now, unfortunately, perfect is a bit of an overstatement, because when he goes against an opponent similar to his fighting skill, he does seem to be able to get hit, as we see with Gyutaro. But let's not ignore the feat that he was able to dodge and deflect every single attack from Gyutaro initially with one hand until late in the fight, which is absolutely insane. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give this to Anby, and here's why. Not only does she have the weird ability to conjure lightning, but she can also match his feats pretty much perfectly from what we've seen in the story. I mean, being able to deflect bullets and missiles from high military grade equipment is enough to put her ahead of any competition. Which is why I'll even go as far as to say that Anby actually wins the entire fight against Tengen Uzui to a high to an extreme diff. And here's why. Although Tengen Uzui matches her in terms of combat experience and skill, Anby is just so unbelievably fast that nothing matters. Being able to deflect high military grade missiles and bullets means that she can go as fast as around Mach 3 to as high as 10, which at bare minimum is 3 times faster than Tengen's speed. So yes, although I do like my glorious GOAT Tengen, Anby is gonna have to take this fight win in a high diff. Anyways, do you guys disagree with anything I said? Let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know what kind of fight you want to see next. Peace out and have fun.